The summer of Brat is over. Now it's time for Italian winter. And to get ready, I've been watching a ton of The Sopranos. I'm gonna start Penguin soon. I've been saying Maron to a lot of things. I've been respecting Christopher Columbus. Just kidding about that last one. Welcome back to the podcast, man. This is episode 80. My name is Carlos, your host, also known as midcard. I'm sorry if the audio was weird there. I'm like trying to clean this microphone as I'm doing this, but I got a lot of stuff for you. Wanted to get into this thing with the United Healthcare CEO executioner, if you will. So before I get started, because I have thoughts about this, I want to say that I and everyone that is part of Midcard Media, as well as the Midwest Midcard podcast, I want to say that I do not condone any type of violence against anybody. I don't think that violence is the answer ever. I don't want any type of violence. But with that being said, his name is Luigi Mangione. Mangione. I don't know how to say that in Italian. So as you and most of people know, on the way to a meeting, some sort of meeting, I don't know his name, so I'm sorry. But the United Healthcare CEO was murdered by a very inconspicuous person. Just seemed to be somebody covering their head. Nothing much was known. It didn't seem random, but it was just kind of like a bizarre situation, and most people didn't really know what to make of it. They were just like, "Wow, like he just got killed." And I don't know how in tune you are with your rich people murders, but there is the one dude from Cash App. I don't remember what position he held. I thought he was an executive. He was just killed out in cold blood. I think he was just stabbed to death, but I don't recall if his death had this much like impact. Probably because he, what came after. So as far as Luigi, or allegedly Luigi, I should say, they found that he did it pretty early in the morning. I think it was like right before the start of the day. Like I said, he was on his way to like a call or like some sort of hearing. So like there were other shareholders from the company that kind of like just walked over him and just went on about their day, and not literally, but that's kind of what it seems that happened. And the bullet casings apparently, and I'm just going off of what I've read, the little research that I've done. The bullet casings said the words delay, deny, and depose. One of the things that I read on Twitter was, delay the claim, deny the claim, depose of the client, or whatever. I guess delay the payment, delay the claim, deny the payment, depose of the victim, the client. What a strange. So here's the thing about the alleged killer. He doesn't fit, the whole like loner guy that loves guns. He doesn't sit anywhere. It doesn't, from what I know, from what I've read, it doesn't seem that he sits anywhere in the political spectrum. And he is, per what, shout out to Cookies Guy, what he said on Twitter was that he is the closest thing to like your average American as far as like politics. They just kind of sit somewhere in the middle, and that's good. That's good. It's good to have subjective thought, and it's good to think that some issues are not bipartisan. They are more again, they're just areas of gray. There's no black and white. I'm of the thought that there's not really black and white about anything, and it's weird that in politics, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of that some folks would will be, and they'll present you an idea, and it'll seem that, yeah, that in fact there is only a black and white, but that's just simply not true. I don't see it like that. What Luigi allegedly did, um, has to do more with like sending a message. He was, apparently he hurt his back somewhere along the way. Different things that I've seen are either he hurt it surfing, or he was already hurt from like, school and wrestling and stuff like that. He got the back surgery, and the pain seemed to be pretty. It was affecting his way of life. From what I know, it seems that he couldn't have sex, stuff like that, and that's just like an awful life to live. And I'm not saying like, oh, he can't have sex, he's fucking, life sucks. I mean that would be really bad, but also like you just gotta think about like your quality in life in general as a young 26-year-old person that potentially wants to get into a relationship and wants to be with somebody, and maybe I don't know how good his quality of life is. I don't know how uncomfortable he was on the day to day, and also I don't know what happened with the insurance. But at some point, it seems that he kind of realized that, these people, they don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about you. They don't care about the little guy. And you know, maybe the CEO has nothing to do with any type of claim he may have, anything that's been denied to him, any bills that have been sent his way that are just like inconceivable, that may never be able to get paid because insurance only covers so much. But it becomes a bigger problem of like, it's not really about the insurance, it's also about, the medical industry in the United States. It's just kind of fucked up, man. It's so expensive. It's hard to go to the doctor because you just think about like the circumstances. Being somebody that may not be extremely wealthy, it just becomes like, like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have some dental work that I need done that I just don't want to do because it's $2,000 that I don't have to spend. And that's awful that I don't have $2,000 to spend to get dental work. But also, why is dental work that expensive? It shouldn't be. I don't think it costs that much. I appreciate doctors, I appreciate dentists, but I also know that there's a lot of abuse in those industries, and they will take advantage of you because it's okay. They essentially been taught that it's okay to do all that. Again, killing this CEO, he's not responsible directly for your claim, for your bill, but it does send a message. And again, I am not condoning this type of violence by any means. I'm just saying that it's not about killing him, it's about sending a message. I mean, not to quote the Joker, but that's what it is. And, not to get in too deep into this, but there was just a bizarre situation, and I wish that I mean, we'll find out what happens with it. It's just kind of crazy, and I'm sorry that I started on such a bleak note. I did want to touch a little on this theory that I saw about the number 286. So apparently, whenever they found this alleged killer, Luigi, they found him in a McDonald's that was around 286 miles from the site of the incident. He was found in Pennsylvania, 286 miles from New York somewhere. There on his Twitter banner, there is a Pokemon. There is a X-ray of his back with the screws on it, and then there's a picture, a thirst trap of Luigi. By the way, this guy is fucking. He's like insanely good looking. I mean, I'm sorry, I have to acknowledge that. So he's got a lot of fans that are that like him because he is a good looking guy, and he's got a lot of people that sit somewhere in the political spectrum that really like what he did. not gonna say whether or not what he did was right. Again, I don't condone the violence. I'm just saying that if he wanted to send a message, he sent a message. But anyway, so the Pokemon that is on his banner, Breloom, I think, I don't know if that's how it's said. I'm sorry to Pokemon people, don't crucify me. I'm sorry. I don't know how to say it. So he is, or he or she or it is the 286th Pokemon. Luigi apparently has 286 tweets exactly, and 286 is a denial code for when appeal limits in a healthcare claim are not met. Really bizarre situation. Again, 286. What does this mean? If you believe in like numerology or any of that stuff, you might be like, "Holy shit! Like this is something." I'm not saying this is nothing. It is. It's either all coincidence or it's none of it. None of it. They found him. They found Luigi, the alleged killer, in a McDonald's with his manifesto, with the gun, this 3D printed machine that he had or whatever it was. So he was ready to get caught. He knew that it was coming. I don't know if he knew that it was going to happen there. Maybe he set it up to happen there, but that's what it was. Whenever this first happened, I'll say this. Whenever this first happened, I read the news because I actually had my insurance meeting for my day job. Like as it was happening, I was having this meeting about my insurance, and I come out of the meeting, and my boss, I wasn't at that meeting because she was gonna go the later meeting. She was like, "Oh my God, they just shot the United Healthcare CEO," and I was like, "What the hell?" I read a little bit about it, and I was like, what is this like?" And it was really swift. This guy unloaded on this other guy pretty quickly, disposed of him, and my first thought was, this guy is a hitman. And then I was like, well, he's not a hitman. He's kind of sloppy. So I thought, he is not a professional hitman, but he is a professional killer. He has killed before. He knows how to kill somebody or something. And then as details came out with the casings, with the wording on it, the delayed, denied, the post, I was like, well, this guy is not a professional at all. He's not a professional hitman. He's not a professional killer. He is just a guy, or maybe he is a professional killer and he's just like very very artsy about this whole operation. So however you feel about this, it's an insane situation, and the alleged killer Luigi, they got him. Hopefully we find out more about this. Hopefully this incites some sort of change. It starts like a chain reaction within the healthcare industry that may make it either more affordable or like more realistic, or give people more chances to actually want to be treated and not be afraid to have these bills that are just like insane. So sorry for going on a tangent about that. I thought this was big news, so I wanted to give my 2 cents and just kind of paint a picture about this whole situation. So yeah, let's move on to something a little bit lighter. I'm sorry. I thought maybe I could touch a little bit on. So if you don't know me from my personal life, and I assume you don't, I am a huge reality show fan. I love all kinds of reality shows, cooking shows, competition shows, dating shows, just like lifestyle, like Bad Girls Club, Little Women Atlanta, Keeping Up. I like it all. Any trashy TLC shows. My favorite reality show probably has to be The Challenge, which is a competition show. I got into The Challenge because I was watching So I knew about the real world because of The Miz, of course, because I am a wrestling fan. So I knew about the real world, and then I found out that there was a season of the real world happening on MTV. This had to be like season like 25 or something crazy like that. Probably around 2011, maybe 12. I don't remember. I do remember Zach was one of the people in that season. That's one that stuck with me. So after that, some time passed. A few years ago, I even backtrack a little bit. At some point, when I was still watching MTV, when I was a younger person, when I was a kid, I do recall seeing the challenge, probably either Inferno or one of those seasons. I remember seeing like an elimination. I remember seeing a little bit of it. It was like a rerun of an old episode, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Could have been the new episode, but I remember seeing it. So that was like my first exposure to it. I always kind of wanted to get into it. Eventually, I did, and that's when I picked up on like season 29 of the challenge, which is Champs versus Stars. And then I watched season 30 of the challenge, which is 30-30. And now I'm currently watching season 40 of the challenge. So I've been on this journey watching the challenge ever since. I am a huge fan of the show. The season's been pretty crazy. It started out with it was maybe it was 10 people from each era. Either, era 1 is the first 10 seasons, era 2 is like that, 10 to 20, era 3 is 20 to 30, and then era 4 is 30 to 40. So it's funny because a lot of people in the era 1 I do like, especially CT. He's a legend in the game. CT unfortunately got out of the game kind of early. He got eliminated because era 1 just kind of shit the bed, if I'm being honest. They're all kind of old, and they ain't got it anymore, man. I'm sorry. They just don't have it, except for Rachel. Rachel's still around. She's fucking killing that shit. I think she might make the final, and I am very excited for that. Era 2, the strongest to me, but the most volatile too, because it has a lot of characters in it. It has Cara Maria, it has Johnny Bananas, it had Laurel in it. A lot of success stories, but also people that are very volatile. Bananas is great, but he's a fucking asshole, piece of shit. But he's fantastic. He's good for TV, man. And then Era 3 has some of my favorite people. My kind of underrated people to me. Tori, I think Tori is fucking awesome. Corey, some of my favorites from Champs versus Stars are there. Jordan, I think is actually I think he might be in era 2. Yeah, Jordan's another. He's a fucking dog. He's still in the fight. And then era 4 has just some of the newer guys. Some very new talent, and then some of the people that come from other reality shows. Because if you don't know how the challenge works, on the challenge now the format is kind of alumni from the real world, and then alumni from other dating shows, competition shows, anything like that. There is people from Love Island that compete. There's people from Survivor, Big Brother, other challenges across the world, other competitions in the world. Like Horacio was in like a weird like Mexican American show, Tori came from like a dating show. Jordan came from the real world. So everyone has like a different path that they took to get to the challenge, and now they're trying to compete. And so there's a daily challenge, which is you compete against everyone, either in teams or by yourself. Men and women, they win for the day, and then that's essentially, if you win, you're safe from elimination. Then, depending on the format of the each season, the house kind of decides the last place goes into elimination automatically sometimes, or everyone votes one person or two people, and then you have an elimination, and whoever loses that elimination is out of the game. So you have a chance to redeem yourself. It's really cool. This season specifically, what they do is you pick targets. So there's three targets. The targets are picked by whoever won the last elimination. So you have the targets, three targets. If you're a target and you get last place, you're going in, no matter what. Um, I don't know if there's been a circumstance where all of the targets are not in like the last places. There was an instance where one of the targets wasn't. Um, they actually won the daily games, so they didn't have to go into elimination. So, um, but if you've never seen the challenge, I highly recommend it. I would advise. I would say you at least gotta go a couple seasons back, maybe like 5 seasons, just so you get familiar with like some of the recurring characters. Because a lot of people, like Johnny Bananas, has done like 12 seasons, and CT has done like 14. There's people that have been, like Aviv. She kind of got she got herself in a dumb situation last episode. Um, and I think it was a little unfair to her. But also, Aviv has not been in a challenge in like 12 years. So, and she's made it really fucking far. I think we're really close to the finale, which is where they do this crazy run. They have to run all these miles. They have to solve all these puzzles. They have to do all kinds of stuff. So, highly, highly recommended. Go back, watch a few seasons, get familiar with people, or watch Big Brother or something, and then get familiar with some people in Big Brother, and they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, Kyland is actually on the challenge too," and then you're like, "Holy shit, I know them from somewhere else," so that's cool. And as a side note, Tori Deal, if you're watching this, you need to get in contact with somebody in WWE, and you need to go to the fucking performance center. We need to get you in the ring. You're great, great personality, good looking girl, strong as shit, great cardio. You need to get in that ring, because I feel that you would have a fantastic match with Io Sky. I'm just saying, you're the kind of girl we need on NXT. NXT is already pretty stacked, but eventually Triple H is going to take some people from NXT. He's going to put them in the main show. So we're going to have to, backfill. And Tori Deal, you have a name from the challenge. The Miz, Mike the Miz. He probably knows you. You guys have probably met in one of the reunion shows. So he's an alumni. He's a successful wrestler. You could be too. I'm just saying, Tori. Don't miss out on this opportunity. So anyway, let's see. What else do we got here? Real quick. So, um, I've been so out of the loop on this. So there is a Craven the Hunter movie. I knew that Aaron Taylor Johnson was going to be part of it. I know that they made the movie. And honestly, when it came out, I think this was last week, I was just like, oh, wow, they actually made the movie. So they made the movie. I have not seen it, for the record. But Sony finally said the Sony Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man is over. So it's done. And I'm not going to miss it. I don't think anyone's going to miss it. Most of the movies were misses. They were not good. So I wanted to take at least a couple minutes and just kind of go over the Sony movies and give you my review and tell you if they were good or not. And, I'll just go ahead and tell you that I haven't seen most of them. So, Venom, the first Venom with Tom Hardy, I actually enjoyed. I didn't think the movie was good, but I think Tom Hardy is great at just being an actor. and I think he was an okay Venom. I like the Venom dynamic with Eddie Brock and Venom, and um, I thought the villain was stupid. I didn't like that it was just like other Venoms. I didn't like that Venom, the symbiote was like just like a fucking goofy loser. That was kind of that was kind of that was just kind of lame. But he's good. The Venom stuff is cool. There's a lot of funny parts in it, but the movie itself not very good, and that only kind of repeats itself with Venom 2. I think Venom 2 is worse, but it also has some funny moments. Again, Carnage in that one is really stupid. Whenever they teased the second movie and it was Woody Harrelson with that weird wig he had, it was like curly. It just looked awful. It just looked like a wig so much, and that's never good. So Venom 2 was worse. I honestly remember less of it. I remember more from the first one. I do think it's the second one where he's got like that the neon the glow stick necklace and shit. I think that's from the second one. Yeah, I think Venom is like trying to break away from Eddie. I keep saying Venom, but I mean the symbiote, because they are essentially Eddie and the symbiote are both Venom. That's the whole thing. I'm sorry. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Just I'm not super sharp on my Venom lore, so I'm sorry. Um, as far as the other movies, Morbius I didn't see. Um, but I heard it was great. Madam Web or Madam Web. Also, I didn't see. Uh, it was certainly a movie that happened. I like that Sydney Sweeney was in it. I guess that's cool. And then Venom: The Last Dance, I also did not see, but it does have a symbiote horse, and that's pretty fucking cool. That's probably worth keeping the Marvel Sony universe. I don't know what the end game was with this universe. I don't know if they thought, well, we're gonna get Tom Holland back, or we're gonna mix it up with Into the Spider Verse. I don't know what the objective was. I don't really understand it. Um, Good riddance. I'll probably not watch. I'll eventually watch Venom and Madam Web. I'll probably never watch Morbius unless somebody like holds me down and does like a Clockwork Orange style, thing on me where they hold my eyes open and like make me watch Morbius. Uh, I'll probably watch Craven the Hunter because I like Aaron Taylor Johnson. I like Craven the character. I just played Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 5, and I think it's kind of like the parts about with Craven I think are really really good. I think they're much better than the Venom stuff. So, um, if it is anything, I guess it'll be fun. I don't know how good it'll be without Spider-Man, because that's always something they kind of have to do something about. You're just gonna have a villain movie. Um, they clearly wanted Venom to be like the Joker, and even the Joker couldn't be the Joker. That second Joker movie was fucking dog shit. It's so bad. It's not good, man. It's not good. Um, I definitely don't want Disney to own everything. I think that is bad. Hot take. One company owning the rest of the companies. Not a good thing. But I do wish that Sony just kind of let Marvel kind of handle, the Spider-Man stuff, just because they've done a decent job with it already. And they're like I do like, again, I like Tom Hardy as Venom. I think he's worth keeping. Um I don't know about Morbius or Craven, but I do like Aaron Taylor Johnson enough as Craven that you could do Craven's Last Hunt for like the last movie in the new Spider-Man trilogy or something. Um so yeah, I'd be okay with that, but let's take a quick moment of silence for the Sony Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man. All right, next up, we had WWE or NXT's Deadline. So finally, some wrestling on the show, man. It's been missing. It's been missing on the show. So, um, interesting thing about Deadline, they branded this show as WWE Deadline as opposed to NXT Deadline, which I don't recall if last year it was WWE Deadline, but I thought that was interesting because I feel like most maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that most NXT shows were just branded like NXT No Mercy or like NXT Great American Bash or whatever. Um, the show opened with the men's Iron Survival. This match concept is awesome. It's just a little. It was a little bit confusing to me because I forgot about the time limit rule. I forgot what it was. I just remembered that the last person in just had not that much time. I thought they had only like 5 minutes, but then um, I did the math and it was like, okay, so two people start, so that's two. 5 minutes go by, that's three. 5 minutes go by, so that's 10 minutes. That's four people, and then 50 minutes go by, that's five people, and then you still have so if it's 25 minutes, you have 10 more minutes to go. So I just did my math wrong. Match was great. It wasn't, well, I'll get to it, but the match was great. I think Javon Evans was probably the. I mean, I don't know because Nathan Frazier was really good too. Both of them MVPs. Wesley, I thought looked great with the short hair and the jacket and everything. I think he just looks like a main eventer to me. So Eddie Thorpe was out of the match because he got attacked, and now it's been revealed that he attacked himself. But he was replaced by Oba Femi. I'm really sorry to all the Oba feminists and Oba Femi, but he's just not doing it for me, man. I just don't really care for him. I think he's great. He's big. He's fast. He is pretty intense. He seems to get it. He's got good matches, but I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it, honestly. He pinned two people with a double choke slam, and that's how he won the match. Javon Evans then came with the springboard cutter. He hit it on him, but he ran out of time. So it was a cool ending. I was just not a big fan of Femi just kind of doing whatever he wanted. He must have some pull, man. He must be a fucking politician or something. But he's gonna be facing Trick Williams up next. Good match. Probably give this one 3 stars. I know I didn't do half stars last time. I'll do it this time. 3.5 stars. Decent match. Next up, we had Lola Vice and Jada Parker, which Lola Vice beat Jada by technical submission. This was an NXT Underground match. The match was also, again, kind of fucking balls to the wall. It was like a lot of like the GCW Bloodsport match, but they also incorporated some like furniture from outside. Jada Parker brought out the brick, a callback to their last match. And I didn't think Jada was gonna win, but at some different points in the match, I thought, she might do it. She might do it. Yeah, the match is stupid, but it's fun. It's cool. The stipulation is goofy, and all the people like slamming the mat. It gets annoying, but it was cool. I enjoy it. I think also 3.5 stars, easy. Well deserved W for Lola Vice. Someone else that I don't get. I'm sorry. I don't like Lola Vice. I'm sorry. She's fine. She's cool. She's entertaining. I don't get it. Jada is just so much better. Jada is a unicorn. For the longest time I thought Lola Vice was going to be what Jada Parker turned out to be. Jada has like this like presence and like swagger to her. She can cut a promo. She's good in the ring. She's had some fun, like hardcore matches with people. I think she has whatever it is. She has it. She has the it factor. So she's great. Um, I think she's miles ahead of Lola, but you didn't hear that from me. Next up, Nathan Frazier was pulling double duty, so it was Fraction, Nathan Frazier, and Axiom. They beat NQCC, Miles Bourne, and Tavion Heights. Great match, actually. Probably, this would have been match of the night if the main event wasn't where it was. But it was fantastic. Tavion Heights, he's insane. Miles Bourne looked great. He was hitting some Randy Orton stuff. I saw Dave Meltzer be like, "Oh, he needs to stop being Randy Orton," but nothing about Miles Bourne is Randy Orton. Just the fact that he looks a little like him and he can hit a power slam, but he doesn't even hit it like Randy. Randy's just like Randy's like a unicorn. Randy is a unicorn, like Jada Parker is. So that match was good. There's not much that I can say about the match because it was just good. You should go watch it. I recommend you watch it. Go out of your way to watch it. 4 stars. You know what? 4.5. Next up, we had Trick Williams versus Rich Holland. He beat Rich Holland by pinfall. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with this podcast, with the audience that's listening. I started the show late. I was behind. So I watched the first match. I watched the second match. And then I watched the third match. And then I decided to skip over all of Rich Holland's and Trick Williams' match so I could catch up on the show and watch live. So I'm sorry, but I did not watch this, so I cannot rate it. I can, though, say that per the reviews, I don't think I missed much. And Trick Williams did the old Shawn Michaels Cactus Jack spot. I think Cactus Jack is the one that invented where his head gets caught on the ropes. So that was neat that he did that. That was cool. Glad he made it out alive. Of course, because oh my god, that's so dangerous. Yeah, but I think the men's division in NXT, they're suffering, man. We gotta stay strong. Something's gotta come because Trick Williams, Eddie Thorpe, it's not it. Obafemi, Trick Williams seems like a better option, but it's tough out here, man. The main event was the women's Iron Survival. Julia beat Sol Ruca, Stephanie Vaquer, Saria, and Ren Sinclair. This was really, really, really awesome. I was a big fan of this match, actually. Sol Ruca, MVP. She came out. She was doing her thing. Her first move was like a double drop kick. She hit like a 450. What's it called? The lariat that Hangman does. I can't think of the name now. Why did I forget the name? What is it called? Hangman. What move does he do? He does the buckshot lariat. So she did a 450 buckshot. That was cool. She did a Sasuke special. The Sol Ruca special, we're going to call. So the great Sasuke is the one that used to do it. And I was not aware, to be fair. But once they said it was a Sasuke special, I was like, well, I do know who the great Sasuke is. Well, at least I know the name. I don't know much about him, but the Sol Ruca special is what we're going to call it now. That was neat. Stephanie Vaquer looked great. She didn't. So the story was kind of like everyone gets a pin except for Ren Sinclair. Ren, another MVP. She did her thing. She got eliminated, or she got pinned, so she got to sit in the penalty box. Then she came right back out. She got pinned again, so she had to sit there again. By the third time she was there, the crowd was like getting like angsty. They were like, "All right, let's go! Like, let's go, Ren!" You know, like they were cheering for her. So that's pretty cool that she was able to like capture to get that from the crowd by being a loser essentially. But Ren is great. She's a good wrestler. She's kind of like a sleeper for me for the women's division. I think she's a perfectly capable mid carder. But also, if they ever want to throw her on like a main event feud with somebody just to like have like a solid match, I wouldn't be mad. She's funny, and she's a good wrestler, so that'll get you far. I mean, Chelsea Green, she could be the Chelsea Green of NXT, and that's very acceptable. Chelsea Green is fantastic, man. So yeah, I had so let me find this. There was discourse about this the great Sasuke thing because of the Sasuke special. So let me pull up this this tweets. So Flo, which is at Tiffy at Tiffy's time. She said, I have, or he, I don't know, sorry for misgendering you. He, she, or they said, I have never seen this before. And it was Sol Ruca doing the Sasuke special. And the response to this is kind of like, it's just awful. Instead of people being like, hey, this is what it is. You should check this out. They were like, oh, you don't know what it is, you fucking loser. You fucking dweeb. You don't know shit about nothing. WWE fans fucking suck. They think that everything is the first time. All right, who gives a fucking shit if she hasn't seen fucking Japanese wrestling? Or he or they. Who cares? You really, like, instead of just teach people, like, if you really care about them seeing this stuff, just tell them what it is instead of just fucking being a fucking shithead about it. Who gives a shit if they don't know? They know now, and they will know, but they won't know if all you do is like, oh, you don't know, you fucking suck, you don't know. You know what? Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. If you don't know what that is, good. Then you can learn. Okay, maybe it'll open up the door for you to start watching some like, Noah or New Japan or fucking AJPW. Maybe it'll do something. I don't fucking know. But like, you really gonna hate on that? On Sol Ruca? What's wrong with you? Fucking bullshit, man. Anyway, the last, well, not the last, because the the other wrestling Twitter moment. I don't know who this guy is, but it's at Chris Prolific. He or she or they, I think that's a guy. They broke out the news that Seth Rollins versus CM Punk is set for the Netflix debut of Raw. Yeah, I mean, that would be cool. The feud seems to be heating up. I think it needs a little bit more heat going into it, but I wouldn't hate having a big match like that on Raw and then running it back for Mania or like a different time and go ahead and close out the trilogy at some point. If that is the case, I'm very excited. The first Raw on Netflix is like must watch for me, of course, but I think for a lot of people that have not tuned in for a while, they being that it is on Netflix, is probably gonna want to make them tune in. And Punk and Rollins is a really big match. So we'll see what happens. It'll be the first time they meet since probably 2014 or so. Rollins is telling the story of like how CM Punk essentially ghosted him in a way. I mean, not quite, but Rollins was like, hey, can you train me? And CM Punk claims that he was like asking like for him to do it for free, and he just felt that he was entitled. But Rollins kind of is like, I looked up to you, man, and you kind of disappointed me. So similar to the MJF story, just not quite there. Rollins is very much you can tell that he is like one of CM Punk's children. Like the comparisons never stop with them. Um, I've never been one of those people that think that they're similar. I think that they're both guys from the Midwest that had long hair and beards and worked ROH. And I think that's where it stops. But clearly, there's more to that. I can tell that Rollins is a huge CM Punk fan. That is well documented. So, um, and obviously the connection with Rollins and Punk is that in kayfabe, CM Punk is the one that brought in Rollins into the dance. So I'm excited for this. It's just a very different. It's very different from the Drew McIntyre thing, and I'm excited to see how this intertwines with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, because Sammy is getting involved and Drew is still kind of lingering here, and Jey Uso is like friends with Sammy, and obviously Jey Uso is friends with Seth Rollins, but Seth Rollins feels like everyone's betraying him because they're working with CM Punk, So we'll see what happens. I am excited. Um, Last thing, the Continental Classic, just real quick, because there's not much to say on our pick'ems with my people, Ramses and Uncle Camel at Camel Clutch. They are we kind of had our picks of who we wanted to win, or who we thought was gonna win, I should say. And I have 9 points. I think Ramses has 9 points, and then Camel has 10. So I gotta come back from this past week. Ricochet and Commander was a really great match. That was really fun, just flippy shit. Commander's been a great replacement for Juice Robinson so far. And then Kyle Fletcher pinned Okada by cheating, but he did. Not a huge fan of how they're getting to this, but they're trying to build Kyle Fletcher clearly. And it's good that they're investing they're putting a little bit of stock on the young guy. I'm not against that. But Kyle Fletcher, like I said last week, I just don't feel him like that. But clearly Tony Khan or the powers that be, or the fact that he's boys with Will Ospreay, something is, they got him at the top, and that's where he's going to be hanging out. So yeah. I believe that's all I have for this week. If you tuned in all the way to the end, I really appreciate it. I know this was a weird episode, especially due to the nature of the first topic. So I'm sorry if that was not your cup of tea, but if you stuck around, I appreciate it. If you like this episode, please make sure that you leave a like, subscribe on YouTube, leave a comment, tweet at me, find me on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, at midcard. Facebook is you just look up midcard. You should be able to find it. Blue Sky, you can find me at midcard.bksy.social. I think that's what it is. I finally memorized it. If you've been sharing the TikToks, I really appreciate it. The last couple did all right, so I'm happy with that. So yeah, I'll go ahead and sign off. Make sure you live, laugh, love, and wrestle.